You have to pass out cards. You have to be a go-getter. Okay, this is no different than the outside world, right? You know, you get out what you put in. So when you come here, you want to, you know, rub elbows, meet different people. We have some people in this room that buy houses like we would buy a loaf of bread, okay? So if you have a deal, or if you know somebody that has a deal, talk it up, present it to people. There's some wonderful things that happen when you put what you want out in the universe. Has anybody ever experienced that? Okay, you ever wanted something and you just put it out there, and somehow, some way, it finds its way to you, right? So that's what you have to do in the real estate business. You have to, first of all, know what you want. You have to see the opportunity when it comes to you, and then you have to capitalize on it. You have to take action. Okay, and obviously you guys are action takers because you're here tonight. Okay? So, the way we run this meetup is that initially we like to open up with a deal offer. So if there's anyone in here that has a deal, whether it be a wholesale deal or maybe a listing you're trying to move, we have an offering segment where you can come up and present that deal. Now, of course, we're going to grill you. We're going to ask you, you know, some questions. We'll take it easy. We're not going to, you know, put you on the hot seat. But we do want to get some information, and then you can feel free to give out your contact information so that if there is someone that's interested in buying your deal, they'd be able to pick it up. Okay? All right, so with that said, is there anybody that has any deals that they're working on that they're brave enough to come up here and present that deal? Okay, all right, that's good. That makes my job easy. I can bring on the speaker. Okay, but keep that in mind though, that it doesn't have to be your deal. Okay? One of the firm things that I believe in is that you can get anything you want through a network. Okay, so a lot of people get stuck at square one and they say, well, I don't have any deals. I don't know if this real estate thing is going to work. You know, and it's like, it does work. You just have to go out there and make it work. Okay? There are quite a few deals that you see on different forums. And usually you find people that always have deals. Okay, you guys believe in the 80-20 rule? Okay, it's about 20% of the people that are the real movers and shakers. You have to associate with that 20%. You got to find out who out here is consistently and constantly putting out deals. And then you align yourself with those people. Okay, because I can tell you personally, if I have a deal and you find me a buyer, I have no problem paying you 50% of the wholesale fee. Okay? And I've always been taught that half a loaf of bread is better than what? No loaf at all, right? Okay? So keep your eyes and your ears open. Okay? In this group, we've seen some wonderful things happen. We had a young lady that came to the club. Her name is Stephanie Brown. And you know, when I first was introduced to Stephanie, you know, I kind of got a feel for, you know, who she was and what her situation is. And she's a struggling single mother, and she was putting her daughter through college. And one of the things that really stuck out to me was, you know, the way that she really wanted to help her daughter. She didn't want her daughter to miss any opportunity. And she was at one of our meetings, and she decided she was going to get involved, and we exchanged information. Literally that same evening, she sent me about 5 deals to check out. So right there, I knew she was an action taker. Okay? Fast forward about maybe 30 days. She came up with a deal in Baltimore, and I told her I'd check it out. I ran the comps on it, got right back to her, and I said, this is a deal. I said, wherever you got this from, whoever gave you this property here, you've got your hands on the deal. Okay? So long story, I ended up finding a buyer for her, and she made a quick $5,000. half loaf of bread. Okay? Do you think that helped her to support her daughter in college? Do you think she'd want to do that again if she had the opportunity? And guess what? She is doing it consistently because she's an action taker. Okay? So that's just one of the things that, in my mind, really it encapsulates, did I say that right? Encapsulates. It really personifies, okay, what we try to do here. She had never done a wholesale deal before that. So for those of you guys that have never done a deal, this is a place where you can get a deal done. But you got to step up. You got to step to the plate. You got to take action. Okay? When we first started this group, we had one member. Guess who that member was? Me. Right? Since then, 12 months later, at last count, we were up to 648 members. Okay? So, we're brand new. We haven't even cut our teeth yet. Okay? This is a baby club. This is our first year. We've had some wonderful speakers. We've had people that have packed the room. Robin Thompson came and she did a great presentation. A lot of folks went to her boot camp as a result of coming to the meeting. And, it's all about training. The more training you get, the more you expose yourself to something, the more you dip and roll and play around in it, the more comfortable you are. And if you treat it like a business, if you treat it like a real business, you'll be successful. So if you're not seeing results, you have to ask yourself, well, what am I doing? Am I treating it as a hobby, or am I really treating this like a business? Okay? Since Stephanie, who did the first deal in the club, we've done, at last count, about 24 deals here in the first year. Yeah, y'all give it up. Presently, I'm working on a $10.8 million commercial deal on Rhode Island Avenue, and I am this close to getting that deal ratified. Okay? And that's as a direct result of a member of this club, again, taking action. Going out there, talking to people. She talked to her pastor at the church, and he informed her that they were interested in selling one of their buildings that they own. And she brought the deal to me. And me being the action taker that I am, what did I do? I turned around and I took action. Okay? I did some marketing, and I was able to drum up some interest from some different brokers and investors. And we actually landed on an investor who is very seasoned. They're paying all cash, $10.8 million. How would you guys like to play with that kind of money, right? Yeah, 10.8. I mean, that's sweet. That's sweet. But and the crazy part about it is, to them, it's a small deal. Just this year alone, they've already acquired $81 million in assets and transactions that they're doing. They have one project going about 3 blocks away from this new venture that they'll be picking up. Okay? So the sky's the limit in this business, literally. I know of different real estate agents that have ventured off into real estate development. How many of you guys know that National Harbor was built by a former real estate agent? Did you guys know that? National Harbor. So whatever your dreams are, whatever you can think up, whatever you can imagine, whatever you can dream of, you can accomplish. And I'm going to tell you, for me, I'm going to keep bringing you guys credible people. I'm going to keep bringing you good information. And I'm going to keep setting the bar high. Because I want to be an example to you guys of what you can accomplish. This is just my first year. I'm just getting started. Yeah, baby. Yeah. So we're going to keep, having fun. We're going to keep getting together here. We're going to keep doing deals. This is just the beginning. We have many more things to come. We have other outside events. Joe Asamoah is in the building. You guys give it up for Joe. Joe has actually taken me under his wing, and you know, he supported me in many ways, and I've done the same with him. Joe is an excellent guy to make contact with. If you want somebody that's going to give you a fair deal, if you want somebody that's going to act fast and act, you know, in a very professional manner, okay, that's who you want to see. There's a lot of people in this industry that will burn you. I mean, we're dealing with big money here, right? This is real estate. This is the real estate game. This is Donald Trump's game, right? Right? So there's a lot of people out here that will burn you, okay? But that's why you want to surround yourself with people that come to these clubs. We're the good guys, right? We're doing it the honest way, right? But when you come across somebody like a Joe Asamoah, now you're in with somebody that's going to give you the real deal. You know, he's not going to tell you, oh, this is an awesome deal if it's not. Okay? He's not going to undercut you. Right? If it's a good deal, he's going to, hey, all right, let's do the paperwork. And that's what you want to hear, right? So you can get that check. Okay? He also has a JV program where if you decide you don't want to wholesale the deal, you want to look over somebody's shoulder and see how it's done. There's tons of opportunity here, guys. That's the point. There's tons of opportunity, but you got to seek out the opportunity. You got to be ready when it comes across your plate. Okay, so I think I've babbled enough. I don't want to take too much time here because we have a really awesome speaker. He's traveled all the way from the ATL, and he's here to give you guys a wonderful presentation. He also has been gracious enough to agree to do a full day presentation tomorrow. I've had the, half day, sorry. 4 hours, half day. I've had the opportunity to hear this gentleman speak. He's very entertaining. I wish I could be half as entertaining as this guy is, right? But he's here to, he's gonna use this one. He's here to give you guys some really good information. He has a very unique perspective on the real estate industry. I was reading through some of his material, and he definitely approaches his business from a different angle. Okay, so without further ado, you guys please stand on your feet and give a round of applause for Mr. Lou Brown.
So how's everybody tonight? Ooh, somebody got it right. Somebody got it right. Whenever somebody asks me how I am, I always say fantastic. Let's give it a try. How's everybody tonight?
Fantastic.
Fantastic. That's a good thing. So I invite you to start using that wherever you go. I invite you to start saying to people you're fantastic, because guess what? When you say you're fantastic, what can happen? You become fantastic. You become fantastic. Exactly right. So I am very blessed that I was introduced to real estate at a young age, and I am very blessed that I have stayed in it all these years. Because I can tell you something, this is the best game there is. There is not a better game out there, I promise you, because I've tried the others. I have been there and done that. Let me tell you something. Real estate is a gift, and you guys are so blessed to be able to see what this is really all about. So tonight, I'm going to share with you some ideas that you can use in your business right now. Business ideas that can take you and transform you into a real estate millionaire. How many of you like real estate millionaires? Is that a good thing? All right, every time you hear something tonight you love, I want to hear a yeah, baby. Let's give it a try.
Yeah, baby.
One more time.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby, that's what I'm talking about. We're going to have a lot of yeah, babies tonight. They call me the king of cash flow. And the reason they do is because I am a big believer that you have to have dependable, predictable monthly income. Is that right?
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby, that's a good thing. So not only can we make strokes when we buy and sell a property, we got to have some money coming in along the way. So I'm going to show you both sides of that, and it's exactly how we do our business. So you're going to be literally duplicating what we do and how we do it. Now there's something that's going to interest you, is there's some folks that you probably know that have been to my trainings before, such as Mr. Sherman Ragland. How about Robert Sheeman? How many of you heard of Robert Sheeman before? How about Alan Cowgill? How about Jeff Collar? How about Stan Merrill? How many of you heard of Stan Merrill before? How about Paul Asabian, his partner? Dan Duran, the marketing man. Richard Root. Vina Jones-Cox. How many of you heard of Vina before? How about Steve Jackson? Robin Thompson. How many of you heard of Robin Thompson before? And Tim Mai. Jeff Adams. Marco Kozlowski, Gary Boomershine, Lee Parker, Ron LeGrand. How many of you heard of Ron LeGrand before? Yeah, baby. Albert Lowry, he's an icon of the industry, been around a long time. How about Kathy Kennebrook? How about Mark Sumter, Curtis Brooks, Larry Goins? How many of you heard of Larry Goins before? Gerald Roman, Scott Shield, Dave Lindahl, apartment guy, right? How about Preston Ely, Don DeRosa, Pat Martin, Jason Rodriguez, Chris Kirshner, Lou Castillo, Bob Massey, and so many more, including Bob Diamond, Bob Leonetti, many other folks that have sat in seats just like you, and they went and did something with the knowledge that I gave them in their real estate businesses, because all these guys invested in my system years ago. Is that a good thing? Is that a yeah, baby?
Yeah, baby.
Now, we're going to have a lot of yeah babies tonight, because these are folks that actually are now teaching an aspect of the business. And they left me to teach you the business of the business. Now, in order to have a multi-million-dollar business, you got to have a dependable, predictable lead flow, right? You got to have some stuff happening in your world. So we're going to turn your business around tonight and have you look at it from a different point of view, an entirely different point of view. It's going to require thinking differently than how you were thinking when you came in the room tonight. So they call me the nation's leading expert on buying, selling, and holding property the most profitable way. How many of you love profits, baby? Yeah, profits are a good thing? Yeah, baby, that's a good thing. Well, we're going to talk about profits and how the money is really made in this business. I've been on Mentors Magazine. I've been on stages with people like Mark Victor Hansen, Susie Orman, Tom Hopkins, Brian Tracy, even Donald Trump. Real estate guy, huh? Isn't that exciting? I mean, you know, you look at somebody who can deal with government and be able to build buildings like he's been able to build. Now that's doing something. And there's some other amazing people. Dan Kennedy, you ever heard of Dan Kennedy? Bill Gates, some rather amazing people in this world. And now you start to think about, aha, now what about me, right? You don't care about me, you care about you, don't you? You care about you and your future and what's happening in your world. So we're going to talk about that. So I'm going to encourage you, get off that phone, stop looking at that text and email and all that stuff. Put that thing on vibrate or mute, since the rest of us don't care if you get a call. Is that right? Keep that to yourself, baby. Now I'm going to be giving away a couple of tickets to the Millionaire Jumpstart training I've got coming up in the ATL September 9th, 10th, and 11th. Now it's a 3-day training. It's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday coming up next month. And I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to come join me. because I'm going to teach you some things tonight. I'm going to go deeper tomorrow with the 4-hour training that I'm going to do tomorrow. We're going to gather at 8:30, so you're going to start networking. I'm going to start promptly at 9 o'clock. We're going to end, if we start promptly, we're going to end promptly at 1 o'clock. And I've got some stuff. Now, I know some of you have jobs. You ever heard call in sick? You ever heard call in and say, you know what? I need to take care of something this morning. I'll be in after 1 o'clock. Is that okay with you? Now, how,
baby.
is that a good thing?
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. Now you're talking. Now think about it. Are we talking about your future here?
Yeah, baby.
How many of you know your future is not working with that J-O-B?
Yeah, but.
Just over what? Broke! J-O-B, just over broke. You see, the thing and the truth of the matter is, that thing called Social Security ought to be called social insecurity, right? There's just not enough money coming in on a monthly basis to take care of business, is it? No. Nobody should ever rely on that thing, because that thing was set up as a different thing back in the day than what it is now. So when you really look at the numbers don't make no sense. Numbers don't make no sense, and they never are going to make any more sense. See, listen to me. 10,000 people a day are turning 65 years old for the next 16 years. 4,000 people a day are turning 85 years old for the next 16 years. Say what? That's a big deal, isn't it? Now that happens to be where we are right now. People are living longer, aren't they? So therefore, they didn't plan for that. Social Security system was designed for you to die. You were supposed to die by 65 years old. And then there'd be enough money left for the leftovers. The people that went past 65, there'd be enough money for them. But everybody's living now. So they're going, we're going to have to figure something out with this. This is a problem. So now, what I'm going to encourage you to do is start looking at your life from a different point of view and recognize that you are responsible for your Social Security program. You are responsible for your future and your income and your ability to cover your retiring years. So we're going to talk about creating a retirement plan, even if you're young, because young is good too.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. Now what I'm going to share with you, yeah, baby. So tonight I'm going to focus on selling the properties in a very unique and unusual way. And then tomorrow I'm going to expand and add to the training that I'm covering tonight. Now to give you a little bit about my background, I was the vice president, then the president of the Real Estate Leadership Association of America. I was the founding president of the National Real Estate Investors Association that is still in business to this day. In 1993, I took this organization and formed National RIA. And in doing so, now we've got an amazing group of folks around the country that are part of the National Real Estate Investors Association, where now we are Home Depot's largest customer. We represent over $1 billion in sales with Home Depot. Is that a beautiful thing?
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby, that's a good thing. I was vice president and president, now president emeritus of the Georgia Real Estate Investors Association, one of the oldest in the country. And I was the chairman of the Small Owners Council of the Apartment Association. So I've done a lot of different things in the real estate industry. And I can tell you that what you're doing right now is exactly what you ought to be doing right now. There is nothing better than what you're doing right now. Now, to give you a little bit more about my background, this is my mom. God rest her soul. Wonderful person on the planet. She taught me about being a volunteer. She taught me about giving of myself. She came over on the Queen Mary as a war bride. She had met the love of her life, an American trooper. He turned out to be an abuser and an alcoholic. And she had to get rid of him.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. And then she met my father, her second mistake. So she ended up having to get rid of him, and it ended up just being the two of us. Now, just imagine, no brothers, no sisters, no uncles, no aunts, no cousins, no grandparents, nobody but just the two of us. And the sad and challenging thing was, my mother did not understand money. To my mother, money was something to be spent. And if you didn't have it, you spent it anywhere. So she ended up getting with a bunch of loan sharks. And I got to see what life is like when you get paid too much interest, and then they try to refinance you, and all of a sudden you're in trouble. And that's exactly what happened. She got herself in debt in a horrible way. And I know what it's like to be on the other side of the door when the rent man comes knocking. And my mother's saying, "Shh, don't answer the door." And I'm saying, "Why don't I answer the door?" She said, "Because I don't have the money." I said, "Well, tell them." She said, "No." She said, "I'm going to have the money on Friday. Just shut up, and we'll give them the money on Friday." See, I know what it's like. She didn't want to face them. She didn't want to say how things really are. See, that's the reality of life. So I'm a little boy, and I'm seeing how it's working. Now, if you don't believe I was poor, this is me in our car, and see, the tires don't even match. We used to buy rich people's tires. You know, rich people's tires, it still has some tread left on it. So we used to buy them one at a time. Whenever you needed a tire, you just got that tire and you put it on there. See, I know what it's like. Our dining table was a Samsonite card table until I was 17 years old. It wasn't as nice as this one. Remember them Samsonite card tables with the belly in the middle? And the metal chairs? Bought it with S&H green stamps. How many of you remember S&H green stamps? Yeah, baby. You don't know what I'm talking about, do you? I know you did. They used to give us stamps for going to the store and buying groceries and gas, and you put them in these little books, and you went to a store and redeemed the books instead of money. And so you got stuff. So that's how we bought our table and chairs, with S&H green stamps. And we furnished our whole apartment with S&H green stamps. See? I know what it's like. But I had the blessing of meeting my mom's friends. I called them aunts and uncles even though they weren't. And so I had Aunt Mabel and Uncle George. Now Aunt Mabel told me something at 8 years old that changed my life. And I want to give you this. She said to me, we bought the duplex. She lived in a duplex. She said, we bought the duplex. She went to the bank and qualified for a loan, told me the people on the other side were paying enough money in rent to cover the mortgage. Now what was she really saying? She was living for free! She was living for free, and here we are hiding out from the rent man. And that's when I realized there's parallel universes. Parallel universes. There's people with knowledge and there's people without knowledge. And that knowledge is available for everyone. Knowledge is available for everyone. So here we are. If I hadn't been given that information at a young age. Now I didn't know anything about money. I didn't know anything about credit. I didn't know anything about anything. Right? But I heard her. And then the next year she bought another one. And the people on the other side paid enough rent to cover the mortgage, and the other money was hers. And the next year they bought another one, and I started watching how they lived. Aunt Mabel didn't like to cook, so they went out to the steakhouse every night. And they brought home leftovers. for their chihuahuas. I said, Aunt Mabel, bow wow. Bring me some of that leftover steak, honey. This is good stuff. So I started to watch how they were living, and they were living a good life because Aunt Mabel bought a new Cadillac every other year. And they were living good. And then she called me one day. She said, come on over here and help me move. See, she bought another one and another one. Now she had 5 duplexes on the same street. Talk about target marketing, right? And then she said, come on over here and help me move. I said, move where? She said, a brand new house and a brand new subdivision, all brick home. Really? How did you do this, Aunt Mabel? She said 2 words. Accumulate property. Now actually, she had a speech of me. She talked like this, so when he talked you had to listen, because if you didn't listen, you didn't understand what he was saying. She said accumulate property. Now I'm sharing that with you to know that it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter what your background is. It don't matter what your story is. It don't even matter how you talk. You can make money in this business. You can make crazy money in this business. And she did something unique. She bought and held property. Whoa, not so unique, is it? Now, she told me, she said, you need to buy a house. I was 18 years old at the time. She said, you need to buy a house. I live in an apartment. Aunt Mabel, I can't qualify for a loan. I can't qualify my way out of a paper bag. What are you talking about? She says, I don't know, but you got to talk to my friend, Realtor Sue. So sure enough, Realtor Sue comes over, like I'm going to buy a house or something. And we go riding around in her Cadillac. And we're looking at houses like I'm going to buy a house or something. And then all of a sudden, we look at a house and I'm making an offer. And all of a sudden, I buy a house. At 18 years old, I put a house under contract. I ain't even ever lived in a house. I don't have no lawnmower. I don't know how to mow a lawn. And I'm buying a house. And this is the house. Is that a pretty house? You like that house? Back in the day, they had a thing called NENQ loans, non-escalating, non-qualifying loans. You, for $45, you could take over somebody else's loan. Just come in and take over their loan. And then make the payments for the rest of the duration of the loan. And then it was paid off. It was a beautiful thing. And then a new law was passed. How many of you know they're all bought? It don't matter which side they're on. They all bought. They're all bought and paid for. So they introduced a new law called Garn-St. Germain Federal Depository Institutions Act of 1982. And in the Garn-St. Germain Act, it gave the banks the right to put in the mortgage a clause called the due upon sale clause. You heard about that? I bet it's in your mortgage. Well, that was the law that gave them the right to do that. So I went, oh, hold on now, wait a minute. I liked what I was doing, taking over somebody else's loan, not going to the bank, not qualifying for a loan. Let me read this thing. And all of a sudden I read that 1701 JD3 8C, and there it was, an exception to the law. When a person places their property in trust for estate planning purposes, the lender is, listen to me, prohibited from calling the loan due. So all I needed to do is learn about them thing called trusts, huh? I mean, that was a good thing. So that's exactly what I did. I am the nation's foremost expert on a thing called trusts, land trusts and personal property trusts. And you see, because of that, I was able to buy other houses, and other houses, and other houses, and other houses, and since then, I have never been to the bank and I have never qualified for a loan on a single family or small multifamily property. Is that a beautiful thing?
Yeah, baby.
Aha, you are listening. What? Randolph and I had a conversation today. Randolph Ford in the back. Say hi, Randolph. So he picked me up over at the airport and I said, listen, you don't need to worry about money in the bank. You don't even need to worry about credit. All you got to worry about is the ability to take over existing financing. Write this down. The seller is the bank. The seller is what?
The bank.
The bank. You see, they've got existing financing on their property that you could take over with the right tools, with the right training, with the right technique, with the right magic words. The lender will be the bank. The lender will be the seller. Now, when I learned that that was real, you see, Aunt Mabel didn't learn that part. She didn't have that knowledge, right? She went to banks and qualified for loans. That's how she bought all her stuff, because she didn't know any better. Well, I'm teaching you something better. Is it better if you don't have to go to the bank and you don't have to qualify for a loan? Oh, yeah. Yeah, baby. Oh, now wait a minute. Did we just make money?
Yes.
If you stay out of the bank,
Yes.
points, closing costs, interest, and the length of the loan is shortened because you're taking it over where it's at. Now that's an amazing thing that I'm going to be teaching you. Now, we got a training coming up tomorrow, 7701 Greenbelt Road, Suite 100, and I'm going to be going deeper into that. And see, here's the thing. You have an opportunity to change your life. And you really got to look at why you're here tonight. How many of you want a better life than the one you got?
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. There's no other reason to be here, except maybe some sushi. There's no other reason to be here, right? So you got to have a better life than the one you got. Now, we already know that the deck is stacked against us because we got to have our own retirement plan, right? We can't rely on the government. Anybody that relies on the government for anything is not a thinking person, right? Because that thing can change, right? They change all the time. They change with the wind. All right, we got to stay out of that wind blowing. The only thing I've found that makes sense is real estate. Now, when you can offer somebody an opportunity, and that's what I'm going to be teaching you tonight. You see, oh, by the way, I went back to Charlotte. You know what? That house was still there. That house was still there. It looked just like it did before. My mom was my first tenant. I said, Mom, we're paying $600 a month rent. Come on in, move in with me, pay me $100 a month, help me make ends meet, wash some clothes, do some dishes. I said, I want you to take the other $500 and put it towards your debt. And a year and a half later, she was free and clear for the rest of her life.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby, it's a beautiful thing. And it proves that when you've got sufficient income, you can disappear anything. You can disappear all your debt, you can disappear all that story from the past. It's just gone. It's just a story from the past, right? So, it doesn't matter what your background or current status is, you deserve what you want. Whatever that might be. Might be that Lamborghini, baby. Whatever it is that you want, you can have it. Now, this is part of your homework. You got to make a list of what you want. Like what you want. Like what you want. Like, what is that? What does that house look like? What does that second house look like? What does that car look like, right? What does that travel look like? See, my wife and I just got back along with a whole group of people that went with us. We went to Europe. Went to Europe for 16 days on a cruise. We started off in Italy, we went down to Greece, we came back up the other side, we went over to France and Spain. It was awesome. You can do amazing things when you got income. Dependable income. So we love to travel. This is us in Yosemite. We saw that beautiful place. By the way, May is the time to go when you're going to Yosemite. We're going to go see all the national parks. We got some beautiful space here in America. See, God created an amazing, amazing world. The problem is He didn't put it all in the same place. So you got to travel to see this amazing world that's out there. It's just fantastic. We got to see bears. That's not a cage, by the way. So we had a good time, and this is really what it's all about, guys. You know, you just want to enjoy life, right? You're here, you can enjoy so many things, so many amazing things that are available to all of us. Now, you need a plan to get what you want. And I like to start with the Monopoly game. In fact, I wore my Monopoly tie in your honor tonight. How many of you played Monopoly before? You played Monopoly before? Yeah, baby. All right. So I used to wear my friends out playing this game. Now, one thing I learned is everybody starts at the same place. Everybody starts at go. Don't matter what your story is, everybody starts at go. Then to get off of go, what do you got to do? Roll the dice and take a chance, right? Too many of you are afraid you're going to land on that chance card. Now, how many of you have any fear around investing in real estate? You have any fear? You don't have any fear? Like maybe you make the wrong decision. Maybe you can't get the money. Maybe you put it under contract. Maybe somebody pulls out. Maybe it's in the wrong neighborhood. Maybe I can't get it. Maybe somebody's going to rip off my stuff. Maybe and then you just stop, right? Just stop dead in your tracks. You're afraid to do anything. Now I'm here tonight to take your fear away. And I'm going to do this in a very realistic way. So pay attention. A very realistic, applicable way that each and every one of you can do. I've discovered that most people are afraid of the lose everything card. How many of you think if you make one wrong move, you could lose everything? Is that true? You can. You absolutely can. So we're going to be doing something different here. Question number one. Do you have a proven money-making model? You see, a lot of people are piecemealing their business together. They don't have an overall strategy. They got a piecemeal. Now, let's look at the opportunity. There's 133 million housing units in America, only 64.9%. Oh wait, that's a wrong number. It's actually changed. It's now 62.9%. They just did the census again. Are homeowners, only 62.9%. They've only been keeping up with that number since 51 years ago. And it's now the lowest in 51 years of home ownership in this country. Amazing. 30 other countries have a higher percentage of home ownership than the United States of America. Isn't that pathetic? 30 other countries have a higher percentage of home ownership than we do. Plenty of product, room to grow. According to Trulia survey, even when the market was volatile and uncertain, 65% of young adult consumers said they still considered owning a home as part of their life's goals. In a more recent study, that number rose to 78% of young people want to own a home. Now, do you understand millennials? You understand millennials? Millennials, right? Right? They're coming on strong, baby. They're coming on strong. They're going to be 50% of the workforce here in a few years.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. Don't kill us. Okay, don't kill us. Okay. And here's the other factor. Every day, 10,800 people are born while only 7,200 die. That's a net gain of 3,600 humans every single day in America. Now on top of that, We got legal aliens coming to this country. 1 million every year are legally coming to this country, going through the steps they're supposed to take, right? And then, who knows how many illegal aliens are coming, right? So now, all of them people need housing and a job, right? So, So now we got to pay attention. Sit up and take notice, folks. This house, I sold this 4-bedroom, 2-bath house for $129,900. I know, it's Maryland. Just add a zero, everything will start making sense now. I bought that for $26,000. Do you need a calculator? Do you need a calculator? Is that a good profit?
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. All right, so our game is this. Cash now and cash flow later. Cash now to take care of your bills, cash flow ongoingly, non-stop, right through setting you up for being in a position to retire. I don't say you have to retire. I say be in a position to retire. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So how would you like to own an autopilot cash machine that turns out money, works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so you don't have to?
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. That sounds like a good thing. Now that's what I'm teaching you tonight, is that business is a formula. Once you have the formula, it is completely duplicatable. So sometimes you sit in the room with somebody else and you say, yeah, but they're so smart. And what about me? And I'm not as smart as them. Oh, yes, you are. Think about all the franchises out there, right? Now, how many of you think a franchise is a smart business model? Now, why is it a smart business model?
Proven.
Duplicatable? What did you say?
Proven system.
Proven system. Turnkey. What else?
You created one time and it supports. You created one time and it replicates.
You created one time and it replicates. What was your
Name, branding.
branding? Exactly. So, aha. Now, start watching and paying attention, because this is a big deal, what we're revealing to you tonight. So the Street Smart system, Street Smart is the name of my company. Since 1992, we've been in the business of helping people to grow their businesses, learning this real estate game the right way and doing some amazing things. So a business model that can change your life is we're going to focus on these little green houses. Why? Because that's what people need. Everybody needs a little green house, right? So we can talk about commercial buildings, we can talk about land development, we can talk about apartment buildings, but let's get you stabilized first. Let's get you stabilized with your income first. Let's get you stabilized with your equity first. Then we can play other games, you see, because I want you to have cash flow. So, see, the thing I found out about big stuff is the payday is later. Sometimes it's way later. And sometimes it's never. That's what I found out about big deals. So we've now discovered that there's another way to do that. Is that a yeah, baby?
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. All right, so in order to get what I'm teaching you today, you need a paradigm what? Shift. Now, what's a paradigm? Mental perspective. What's another description? Paradigm. No, it's not 2 dimes now.
Setting a different
It's
pattern.
2 dimes, dude. No. What?
Setting a different pattern in a different direction.
Setting a different pattern in a different direction. What's another description?
Out of the box.
Out of the box. Thought process. Belief system. A change in your belief about how to make money in real estate safely and easily. You see, you all came into this room tonight with a paradigm, with a belief, an understanding of how things are and how things are in your world, and your belief that this is how you're going to make a success with this. Now, we're going to have a paradigm what?
Shift.
Away from what you've been thinking. Because I want to show you something new, and this is new. You haven't been thinking of it this way at all, so I gotta, thank you. Prepare you for exactly what this is all about. So that's why you gotta have a paradigm what? Shift into a whole new direction. Now what is this? Quilt. Isn't that lovely? How many of you have a business that looks like this? You know what I'm talking about?
All over the place.
Where you're taking an idea from here and a concept from there and a form from another place, and you're trying to cobble that together into a business. How many of you know what I'm talking about now? Aha. Patchwork quilting. That's what you're doing. Now, what we're going to have to do is have a funeral, say a prayer, and let it go. Let that patchwork quilt go, because there's something better. There's something better that can pull it all together for you and put you in a position to win. So Major League paradigm, money-making paradigm shift, number one. Make money now before you even buy the property. How many of you like the idea of making money before you even buy property? Is that a beautiful thing? Yeah, baby. How's that gonna work? So we're going to create a theme for your business. Question number 2. Do real estate investors have a good name? What's the answer?
No.
Now, when people hear the term real estate investor, what do they think?
Shark.
Scammer, what?
Shark.
Shark. What else?
Take my house.
Take my house. What else? What? Crook. Low ball. Lying, cheating, stealing, money grubbing, good for nothing. Isn't that what they're thinking? Is that what I got myself into? That's what people think. Now what we got to do is shift that thinking. Shift that stinking thinking to something else. Now, when you rename something, you can get a whole new perspective. Is that a good thing?
Yes.
So how many of you think we deserve credit for what we do? You see, what do we do? What do we do? We take abandoned, dilapidated houses. We hire people locally. We buy supplies locally. We help the local economy. We put those houses back on the tax rolls. We put those kids that move into the house into the schools. We help the community. And we don't get any credit. Because we use that name, real estate investor. And we got to get rid of that. Are you and your business just about the money? No, baby. How many of you see yourself in a different light? See? How many of you want to help others have a better life? Oh, yeah, baby. Now you watch this. You watch this. What about doing good while doing well? Doing good while doing well. I have a book on Amazon.com called Doing Good While Doing Well. In fact, everybody that joins me tomorrow is going to get that book, Doing Good While Doing Well. Because I want to share with you a whole new way of looking at your business. And you're going to love this. In fact, would you do that for me? Would you just open this up and pull out the book? All right, so I'm going to teach you to get rid of that real estate investors thing. Here's the book, Doing Good While Doing Well, right? And what it is, money just falling out, just falling out. This is a book that talks about people all around America doing what I'm sharing with you tonight. Now, we're going to shift from being a real estate investor to becoming a what?
Affordable housing provider.
Affordable, does that sound better?
Yeah, baby.
Does that sound kind of non-profity? Now, how many of you know that non-profit, there ain't nothing non-profit about a non-profit? There ain't nothing non-profit about a non-profit. All right, so what happens is that we now sound different. And when we sound different, people listen to us different. Is that right? So we got a different story to tell who we are and what we do. So we have a national program that all of you are going to be a part of. And what's going to happen is, once you're trained, you're going to be able to offer the path to home ownership. Now, the path to home ownership is something unique, it's different, it's out there in the world. People love it, absolutely love it, because we take deserving people, regardless of their credit or financial background, and help them end up with ownership of a property. Is that a beautiful thing?
Yes.
Yeah, baby. We're changing lives. You see, here's the thing. How many of you believe that children do what they see? Exactly. The children do what they see. Now what we got to do is show the children something new. We got to show the children, the parents, trying to get a better life. And when they see the parents working towards a better life, they're going to work towards a better life. Harvard has already done the studies. They found that children that are raised in homes have a completely different attitude about life. They have a different attitude. They make more money. They go on to higher education. And their family stays together as a unit more often. You see, because the children are seeing something different because of their parents. So I believe that we are the social change. We are the ones that can make the difference. We're the ones who can change housing in America. As a result of changing housing, we will change America.
Yeah, baby.
And it's all of us. It's all of us. It's all of us. With a message to share out there in the world. It's all of us. So we're going to take this same message to everybody. Now what we have is the path to home ownership. We take a deserving family regardless of credit or financial background, and we help them step up, step up, step up until they end up with ownership of a property. Now, along the way, cha-ching, 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 cha-ching! There's some paydays in there for you, because you are the entrepreneur that's offering the opportunity for them to change their lives, for them to change their family's life. How many of you love that plan? It is a beautiful thing, and I promise you this works. I promise you that when we do things different than what you've been doing, paradigm what? Shift to a whole new way of thinking. The money comes. Now, we even give our people certificates. Depending on the level that they come in at and grow to, we give them a certificate for each level that they achieve in our program. Many of these people have never had their name on a certificate in their life. And all of a sudden, we're giving them a certificate showing them not only have they achieved something today by moving into our program, but tomorrow and the next day until they end up with ownership. Is this a good thing?
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby, it's a good thing. Now let me tell you about my life. I've already shared with you in the beginning about what happened to me. My mother tried to buy this house when I was 12 years old. She did all the paperwork, she had the pile of papers, she did everything she was supposed to do, and they turned her down. They said, not you. That so infected her and affected her that she never talked about it again. And if I would bring it up, she'd say, that's not for us. And she wouldn't listen. She wouldn't you ever talk to somebody who won't listen? She wouldn't listen. She wouldn't listen. Nope, that's not us. Even with Aunt Mabel buying all that property and her being her friend, no, that's not us. That's not us. You ever heard that before? That's not us? That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. Everybody Everybody deserves a home. Everybody deserves a path to home ownership. So we have the opportunity to change the paradigm, to change how people are looking at their house. If I had been raised in a home, I would have seen life different. Now, I was very fortunate. I am blessed by God. There is no question. There is no question in my life. And what happened was, I got to listen to Aunt Mabel. And Aunt Mabel telling me at 18 years old that I could buy a house. And believe in her. And believe in her. Not listening to my mother saying that's not us. Believe in Aunt Mabel. Yeah, we can. We can do that. How many of you think credibility matters? When you're buying from a seller, when you're selling to a buyer, and when you're talking to a lender. Think private money lenders? Oh yeah, credibility matters, doesn't it? Now more than ever, because of the internet, you need credibility. Because people put crazy stuff on the internet. And then everybody gets numb to it. They know a whole lot of it is a bunch of lies. So they go, uh-oh, I want to get away from that. So what we have delivered, what we have put together is something very unique. You are getting a national membership when you join our program in the Affordable Housing Network, the Street Smart Affordable Housing Network. Now we have a network now of licensees all across America, in all parts of America, including Randolph Ford back there, who's now a certified affordable housing provider. Yeah, baby. Now what we start with is giving you a certificate that recognizes you and your company, and joining our program. So now you have a piece of credibility. Now tomorrow I'm going to show you a presentation kit. Now when we go visit with a seller, we make a presentation. We tell them who we are, what we do, how we operate, how we can help, how we're different than a traditional buyer, how we're different than a real estate agent. We can buy their property today.